Donald Trump does not care about tragedies. He only tries to exploit them. That is what he did on the campaign trail with Jeffrey Epstein's survivors, stealing their stories as campaign fodder only to turn his back on them when he was elected. And it's what he's doing right now with Charlie Kirk's death. He does not care unless it can advance his political agenda, which is exactly what he is doing right now, and doing so with a shock move that we are going to cover, along with the latest news from the FBI and their bungled investigation. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, Donald Trump is clearly trying to exploit this political tragedy, but before we get into the way that he did at the 9/11 memorial, of all places and on all days, I want to start with the reaction that we saw from MSNBC versus the right wing, because it's very important context.
We're in a war. The left has been saying put a bullseye on Trump, a bullseye on his supporters.
Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war. We're in this country. We are.
They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it?
Hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
That MSNBC analyst who correctly stated that Charlie Kirk built his career on racism, on misogyny, on bigotry, by trying to other and dehumanize people, was right. That was a correct statement. That was a statement of fact. Charlie Kirk would have told you that. And the fact that he was fired, but the right-wing hosts who are declaring war right now, saying that we should be engaged in active political aggression against each other, are fine, are receiving no criticism. It is the reason why I scoff at the idea that the left, that Democrats have to condemn what happened. We are not the gun lobby, and you are not responsible. You do not need to apologize. You do not need to say, I am sorry, because you have not been working to stop actual common sense gun reform that would have prevented the tragedies that we see every day in this country. They do not care. They just want to exploit a tragedy. And Donald Trump made that very clear with what he said right here before his announcement about Charlie Kirk.
For the world to see. In America, we take blows, but we never buckle. We bleed, but we do not bow. And we defy the fear, endure the flames, and emerge from the crucible of every hardship stronger, prouder, and greater than ever before. Last year, we were a dead country. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. In New York, there were heroes like Chuck Costello, a 46-year-old elevator mechanic.
There is quite literally nothing more Donald Trump-like than at a 9/11 memorial, where, if we remember on 9/11, all Donald Trump cared about was, well, I guess I have a really tall building again. My building is so tall. Those buildings are down? Thousands have lost their lives? Well, I guess I have the tallest building. To say that Joe Biden killed our country a year ago and you fixed it, that's what Donald Trump is focused on? That is not a remembrance of our country's ability to overcome. That is Donald Trump praising himself personally. But that is how he views tragedy. That is what he wants to do with Charlie Kirk's death. He wants to exploit it. And he wants to say that liberals are the ones who caused it. They are responsible, that they created this climate. I refuse to allow that to be said, because Charlie Kirk, his friends and family, his wife at least, grieving for him right now, they chose to surround themselves. They chose to be in the company of someone who spewed that bile. They were his friend. They supported his undertaking to make our country hate more, to make us angrier, to make us other each other. So do I feel bad for them? Not really. I don't. Because he would not have condemned his own death. He would not have cared and made it clear he did not care when people lost their lives to the tragedy that is gun violence, which is why it's very clear that Donald Trump is just trying to exploit this with what he said right here.
Countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
The Medal of Freedom? Charlie Kirk was not an American hero. This was not a statesman. Charlie Kirk's legacy is what is happening right now, which is his followers are calling in threats to HBCUs. They want to avenge the man by continuing his legacy of harassing black people in America, saying he doesn't trust black pilots, that women should stay in the kitchen and shouldn't have the right to vote. All of the bigotry that he spewed is his legacy, yet Trump wants to remember him? Think about this in contrast to what Trump said about Jimmy Carter. Trump complains that flags will be half-staffed to honor Jimmy Carter on Inauguration Day. Nobody wants to see this, and no American can be happy about it, the president-elect wrote on Truth Social. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody, is what Donald Trump said. Nobody wants to see this. Remembering a real statesman, a real American hero. What does Donald Trump want out of this moment? He wants to exploit it. That is what Kash Patel's tweet was, by the way, last night when he said he had caught the killer. It was him not making the public clear on an investigation. No, that he only compromised talking about it. He just wanted the praise, which is why I don't feel very comfortable with the latest update we've gotten out of the FBI. Breaking. The FBI is seeking information about the person of interest in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They have released these images. Now, I can tell you at the time that I'm recording this, I don't even know if I'm going to show the images of this individual, because we saw images yesterday of an older man being arrested at the Charlie Kirk event, and they were instantly widespread, instantly viral. And I can't imagine what that person, who, from what we know now, was not involved. It is not a person of interest, what they are going through, because their face was shared all over social media without any information whatsoever. Do I trust the reporting of Kash Patel? Do I trust Kash Patel to give me updated information, real information? No, I don't. I don't at all. I don't think anyone should. Am I doing a disservice to y'all as someone reporting on this by not showing the images? And again, I'm recording this right now. I don't even know when I edit this if I will. And so if I did, I hope y'all aren't upset. And if I don't, I hope y'all are upset. I will literally have to figure that out in the moment right before I'm about to post this video. But all I know is that this administration is not actually focused and has never been focused on keeping people safe. We covered this late into last night, but it was reported by MSNBC that several FBI agents who would be involved in a manhunt like this have been taken off the beat to join ICE. They've been moved over to work with ICE because Donald Trump's harassment of communities is much more important than the FBI's ability to do its job, which at this point, with the mass purges that we have seen, Kash Patel quite literally being sued right now alongside Pam Bondi, I don't know how the FBI can do its job. So I continue to say, spare me the crocodile tears of an administration in a conservative movement that made something like this possible. By stripping away the parts of our government that keep us safe and blockading change that would as well. If you are going to fight back against gun control, I really don't know what to say when it hits close to home. I think it's a tragedy because I always think it's a tragedy. But it seems like a lot of those on the right have a selective memory when it comes to someone like Melissa Hortman, who had her life stolen from her for political reasons, which the right refuses to acknowledge. Just take a look at Nancy Mace.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated. My kids have called panicking. They probably, all the kids of every conservative in the country call panicking. Just because you speak your mind on an issue doesn't mean you get shot.
Then by that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Political,
isn't this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm asking.
We don't know what condition Charlie Kirk is in right now. Some raging leftist lunatic put a bullet through his neck, and you want to talk about Republicans right now? No.
No, I'm asking.
No, not
you,
at all.
You said the Democrats
no, this
have
is on.
but I'm asking,
Democrats own this.
But isn't there a problem with political violence across the spectrum?
Yeah, we're talking about Charlie Kirk right now. That's the subject of this that we're talking about right now. Democrats own this 100%.
Does this seem like someone who is actually interested in safety and remembering the life of someone who was taken by gun violence? Or does it just seem like she's trying to make a political moment out of it? When has Nancy Mace not been trying to make a political moment out of anything? That's all she cares about is attention. She was screaming on the House floor yesterday after Sarah Jacobs, as my generation would say, clocked her that breast augmentation and filler and Botox is gender-affirming care. And so if you want to attack trans people, Nancy Mace, I don't know what procedures she's had done, but maybe next time you get a little fix-up in the face, you think about that. I know we've diverted a little bit here, but honestly, I think it's just important for us to recognize and to feel comfortable saying, once again, you don't owe anyone an apology. You don't have to condemn this. You didn't cause this. You don't advocate for the policy that does. And I'm tired of this response from our own party that gives Donald Trump exactly what he wants, that feeds into his hands, that says, maybe we should calm our rhetoric around the Epstein files because of this tragedy. No, Donald Trump doesn't care. He will use, exploit, and abuse any story and any tragedy to protect himself. We should be talking about the Epstein files even more. Donald Trump won't even speak to the victims. Do you think Donald Trump cares about any victim of any tragedy? Marjorie Taylor Greene asked him to speak to the victims. She cared not. So please spare me any reflection on how we talk about a man who has declared himself a dictator. His own vice president compared him to Hitler. And I'm supposed to mellow my rhetoric? What is my rhetoric? Apt analysis of the current state of the authoritarian takeover of our country to serve a billionaire class? And a man who defends his best friend who's a pedophile? That's my rhetoric? That seems like honest reporting to me. So I'm not going to be quiet, especially on the issues that Donald Trump really wants us to hush-hush on. Of course not. I'm not letting him exploit this. I won't. I'm going to keep calling it out. I hope you can support us in doing so. And if you want to, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.